Hello beautiful souls. I'm in a swap with Tamika from Scrap the World. We are to make 4 gift bags, and I've shown this in another video where I've done these 2. These are the other 2. We are to make 4 gift bags for each member of our group. So there's 5 of us, but I'm only to make 4 sets for each member of our group. And these are the other 2 that I've created. I made these really simple. I used the format of a brown paper bag to create my gussets on both of these. This one I used the poster board, and this one I've used copy paper actually to make this one with the brown paper bag format. On these I used the short envelopes, and these I used the longer envelopes. These you can find, this paper you can find on Teatime and Dolls Etsy shop. It is a digital file. These are some of the elements that come, you know, with the collection. It's you can buy them as a bundle, you can buy them separately. These are more of the elements. So for this bag, okay, so I'm going to untie this here. So this is the long one. I made a belly band for this one to keep it closed. And this is the note tag. That's how it looks in the back. And I keep it closed with these ribbons on the sides, so when you fill it up, you can keep it closed. You can tie it to keep it closed. I added the sentiment. These are I do have a sentiment digital page in Spanish and in English. I used the English one here, and I backed up the paper with chipboard. These are butterflies that are in the elements, and I just stickled them. Thanks to Ida from Created to Create. She gifted me with stickles, which is my first time ever using them. In the past, when I glittered my elements, I would use glitter, or I would put varnish, water-based varnish, and then sprinkle on the glitter. That's how I did it before. So this was much easier because all I got to do is squeeze it out of the tube. Much quicker and easier. The butterflies are stiff, and I have a trick to that. I'll show you that right now. First, I curl the wings. And then I give it the shape. I take 2 pieces of cardstock. They're shorter than the middle of the butterfly, and I take 2 of those. And I just glue them like this. And then I glue this to the back of the butterfly. And then you give it the shape, and when it dries, it'll dry nice and stiff. So you give this, you know, time to dry, to cure, and then you add your glue and then stick it on your project. So that's how I keep this. Keeps it from getting, you know, completely flat, and it's really nice and stiff. So that's the trick to that. Okay, so I'm going to open this so you can see. I will be having a tutorial on how I made all my 4 bags. This is pretty much, I did this the same way I did this. And the only difference is that this one is narrower and taller, but the measurements for the gussets remain the same. So when creating the gusset in the paper bag, the brown paper bag format, you can make it wider, taller, shorter, but this will always be the same, so that you don't have to worry about figuring it out. We can make, we can also make the gussets a little bit deeper too, but for now I'm just going to do it the way I did this when I do the tutorial. So for this one, I used poster board for this one. The only thing I didn't like, because poster board is very thick, but it's very, very sturdy. That's why I wanted to use it. It's lighter than chipboard, thinner than chipboard, but thicker than 110-pound cardstock. But this is what happens when you fold it, when it gets folded multiple times. When it's folded once, it's fine. But when it's folded in, a couple of times in one area, it tends to crack a little bit. And I already did my four of these, so I didn't want to redo it, and I already glued on the paper and everything, so I'm not going to redo it. However, when my partners receive it and they want to put a gift in here to gift to someone, they could always put something here, a decorative element here, maybe another butterfly here, and on the other side to cover that up, because when they gift this to someone, they're already going to have goodies in there, so it's not going to be closed. It'll be open, and then it just gets tied on the side to keep the goodies inside. And I punched a hole here to put the tag, the note tag, this note tag, and I punched a hole there. Okay, so that's that one. For this one, I just punched 2 holes here in the back. Well, front and back, I did it together all at once, and I just tied it here. And this tag is just like the other one. The only difference is that the note tag, this note tag is pink, but it's pretty much the same but in pink. So I'm not going to open that one. And this just opens like this. And I do have handles, make it look like a real gift bag, like the ones you buy in a store, in a gift shop. So there goes the sides, the bottom. It looks just like a brown paper bag. And you can fit quite a bit of goodies in there. So those were my 4. That's what I'm going to submit for my 4 gift bags. Oh, before I forget, I just added 2 roses here and a blue one there. And the umbrella, the dress forms rose cluster here, and I backed this doily on a chipboard, so it's risen. It has a little dimension there. And these are all a part of my Doily Dreams digital collection, and you can buy all of these elements separate or in a bundle. Okay, and to show how you can decorate, your projects, I made these. You can decorate your gift bags with these elements like that as well. These parts here, this is separate. This is a separate page that you buy to make belly bands, like I did here. I made a belly band as a closure for this gift bag. It's a little loose because there's nothing in it, and nothing in the gift bag. But once it gets filled, this will have body to it, so it'll keep it nice and snug. Okay, so this is one of them. This is another one. And you can make tails, since there's a strip of of a decorative element here in the middle of the lace trim here. I just created tails here on the sides. I actually did that to the back of this bag. I just created a tail here. I did this one. This is a decorative medallion, and these are the medallion lace doilies. And here's another butterfly. And then there's this one with the dress form. Here's one with the bird cage. So those are, you know, a little ideas and how you can use the paper. I've also done to gift the ladies in my group. I've made some charms. So I'm going to gift all the members in my group some charms that I created. And I used the paper line as well, the Doily Dreams paper line that you can get at Teatime and Dolls Etsy shop. I used some of the elements, and you can resize it, so that's what I did. I resized it, and I made it to fit, not quite exactly, but close enough to fit these brooches. These brooches I made using cold porcelain, and then I, you know, have a mold that I use, that I actually created to mold the clay in there. And this one is a little different. I added this bow here because when I tried to put the jump ring in it, it snapped a little bit. So I ended up having to screw on an eye pin here. And, you know, just to cover up the fact that it's not rounded anymore, I put this bow here. So I will be gifting these. And I added glossy accents in the middle. I did my best. I'm not really good at it yet. It has little tiny bubbles here and there. It's not bad. These are great for like TNs. You can wear them as a real brooch on a necklace, actually. Put them on your projects. They will be great on, you know, hanging off of mini albums or planners or any of your projects. And then these three I created for Ida only, from Created to Create, because I'm gifting the ladies in my group some of my paper, the digital paper, and that's going to be my other gift to them. And since Ida already has the paper, I decided I'll make something extra for her. And I'm also going to make paper clips with the paper line that, you know, you can use as a bookmark or on your TNs or planners or any of your other projects that you think will, you know, will be great for it, will go with it. So I just created these. I glossy accented these also. This one has a little bit of bubbles too. Sorry, Ida. Still learning how to work with the glossy accent. This one has one or a couple of them in there too, here in the corner. And I didn't do the back yet. I don't know if I'm going to do it, you know, being that I'm not very good at it yet. I even made a boo-boo when I did the glossy accents on this one, so I added this rose to cover the boo-boo. And I also made personalized charms. Made one for Tamika. Her YouTube channel is Crafty Teacher, and I found out what her name was, so I didn't want to put her YouTube, you know, name. I wanted to put her real, you know, her name, her given name on here. And I was able to find what her full name was. Thank goodness for that. Gemzile, Cheryl from Gemzile here on YouTube. Her YouTube name is Gemzile. I don't know if Cheryl's last name is Gemzile. So I did my best, Cheryl, to try to figure out if this was your last name, or it's just, you know, if that has some kind of meaning on your YouTube your YouTube channel. I wasn't sure, but I really did my best. And they all have this in the back. Love is the key. They all have that. I made these with polymer clay. This is not the cold porcelain like the brooches are. Oh, and these two are polymer clay. It is not the cold porcelain. Nancy Osborne is her YouTube name also. And then this is Ida Martinez, who is Created to Create. And Ida, from Created to Create here on YouTube, she has a lovely daughter who is a lovely assistant to her channel. She helps her out in her channel, and she helps her, you know, with creating. And I thought it would be nice to make one for her. And her name is Abby, and she loves shabby also. So here's to a comment that she made, where she made her name rhyme. So here you go, Shabby Abby. That's for you. And this is, and the color for her is different in the back, but it's the same sentiment. And they all have a resin rose on it. They all have different colors of it, but they all have it. And this is the darker pink. How I achieved to glue this here was, of course, I use Mod Podge glue to decoupage this. But the trick to doing this is printing the paper on regular copy paper. You want it thin. You don't want it thick like cardstock. You know, you want to keep it nice and flat. So that is the trick to, you know, making little charms like that. Even on here, even though this has, you know, it's indented, and, you know, this is risen and the middle part is indented, you still want to keep it nice and flat so that when you add, you know, one of those clear acrylic, I don't know what those call, you know, but they have, it's adhesive and it's acrylic, and you stick it on there and, you know, it'll still be clear. And then sometimes people might use resin, clear resin, or like we use, you know, some people use diamond glaze, and I use the glossy accents. So it's nice to keep the paper, the image that you're going to put in there, really nice and flat. And so that's what I did. You know, you print it on copy paper, on regular copy paper. So that's the trick to that. Okay, so this is what I wanted to share with you all today. And with that being said, let's share, be fair, be filled with love, love one another, and take good care, everybody.